Welcome to the Executive Summary. Sam Walker, a former Wall Street Journal sports editor, spent years analyzing the greatest dynasties in sports history to uncover the surprising common thread behind their sustained success. If understanding the hidden drivers of elite teams is the kind of edge you are looking for, like this video and subscribe now. Here is what you need to know. Most leaders believe sustained organizational success is built upon superstar talent, revolutionary strategy, or charismatic leadership from the top. Sam Walker's extensive research into the world's most dominant sports teams reveals a profoundly different truth. The true engine of enduring success is a specific, often overlooked, type of captain within the team itself. Ignoring this internal leadership dynamic leaves organizations vulnerable to the ebb and flow of individual talent, creating fragility rather than resilience. Without understanding these hidden drivers, even the most promising teams will struggle to convert potential into consistent, championship-level performance. By the end of this analysis, you will possess a clear framework for identifying, cultivating, and leveraging the specific traits of these captain-class leaders, enabling you to build teams capable of sustained, generational dominance. Walker, a former deputy page one editor for the Wall Street Journal, spent years meticulously dissecting the attributes of 16 legendary teams across diverse sports, providing a data-driven, counterintuitive argument that has reshaped our understanding of high-performance cultures. Let us now delve into the core insights that define this revolutionary perspective on leadership. In a landscape of leadership literature, where the spotlight often falls on the CEO, the founder, or the coach, Sam Walker's The Captain Class offers a compelling and meticulously researched counternarrative. Published in 2017, this book emerged from Walker's deep journalistic curiosity, honed during his tenure as deputy page one editor for the Wall Street Journal and as the founding editor of its acclaimed daily fix sports column. His extensive career, marked by a rigorous analytical approach to complex phenomena, uniquely positioned him to dissect the often invisible yet crucial dynamics of team leadership. The core problem Walker addresses is a pervasive and often unchallenged assumption that superstar talent, coaching genius, or cutting-edge analytics are the primary, if not sole, drivers of sustained team success. This conventional wisdom, deeply ingrained in both sports and business, frequently leads organizations to invest heavily in external hires, high-profile consultants, or individual geniuses, while overlooking a far more potent and sustainable source of competitive advantage. Walker argues that this oversight leaves a critical gap in our understanding of how true dynasties are forged and maintained. The Captain Class became a landmark work precisely because it dared to challenge this prevailing belief with robust data and compelling historical case studies. Walker's methodology was exhaustive. He identified the 16 most dominant teams in sports history, spanning various eras, geographies, and disciplines from the New Zealand All Blacks rugby team to the Boston Celtics of the 1950s and 60s and the Brazilian men's national football team. He then painstakingly analyzed the common threads that bound these seemingly disparate entities, searching for the elusive ingredient that propelled them to unprecedented, sustained success. What he uncovered was not a shared coaching philosophy, nor a consistent reliance on the most gifted individual players, but rather a distinct and recurring pattern of leadership embodied by a specific type of team captain. These captains, often unsung and operating outside the traditional power structures, possessed a unique constellation of traits that fostered unparalleled cohesion, resilience, and an unwavering will to win. The book matters because it provides a data-driven, counterintuitive argument that the most successful sports dynasties were not built on celebrity coaches or individual superstars, but on a specific, often overlooked, type of captain whose leadership traits are directly transferable to business, military, and organizational contexts. It offers a profound recalibration of what truly builds enduring high-performance teams, moving beyond simplistic narratives of talent and charisma. The Captain Class resonates deeply with executives, senior pastors, entrepreneurs, military officers, sports coaches, and any leader responsible for building and sustaining high-performing teams. It challenges them to reevaluate their criteria for leadership, to look beyond the obvious, and to recognize the quiet, relentless force that can elevate a collection of individuals into an unstoppable collective. The central argument is unequivocal. The most dominant and enduring teams in sports history consistently possessed a specific type of captain whose unconventional, often unsung, leadership traits were the true engine of their sustained success. This is not merely a book about sports. It is a profound exploration of human dynamics, collective ambition, and the subtle art of leading from within. Lesson 1. The unsung architect. Captains are not always the best players. A foundational insight from the captain class is the counterintuitive reality that the most effective captains are rarely the team's most talented or highest paid players. This principle directly challenges the common assumption that leadership naturally gravitates towards the most skilled individuals. Walker's research posits that the true value of these captains lives not in their athletic prowess, but in their distinct leadership qualities, allowing them to focus intensely on the team's collective performance rather than individual accolades or statistics. Walker's extensive analysis reveals a striking statistic. Only 16% of the greatest captains he studied were also considered the team's unequivocally best player. This separation of individual skill from leadership responsibility is crucial. It frees these captains from the immense pressure of individual stardom, enabling them to concentrate on the less glamorous, yet fundamentally vital, tasks of team cohesion, motivation, and strategic communication. They often serve as an indispensable bridge between the coaching staff and the players, translating strategic directives into actionable team behaviors and providing candid feedback from the ground up. Their role is that of an unsung architect, meticulously building and maintaining the internal structure of the team. Consider the indelible example of Bill Russell of the Boston Celtics. While undeniably a phenomenal player, with a record-setting 11 NBA championships in 13 years, Russell's enduring legacy is equally, if not more, defined by his unparalleled leadership. He was not merely a dominant center, he was a master of defense, an orchestrator of team play, and a relentless motivator who consistently elevated the performance of his teammates. Russell's focus was perpetually on the team's success, not individual scoring titles or personal statistics. He understood that his primary role was to make everyone around him better, to ensure the collective functioned as a single, unstoppable unit. His leadership was a quiet, relentless force that permeated every aspect of the Celtics dynasty. As leaders, we must ask ourselves, are we unconsciously prioritizing individual star power over the quiet, connective leadership that truly binds our team and drives sustained success? Are we inadvertently overlooking the individuals who, though not always the most visible or celebrated, are diligently weaving the fabric of our team's collective strength? Lesson 2. Aggressive play. Pushing boundaries and setting the tone. Another defining characteristic of captain-class leaders is their propensity for aggressive play. This principle suggests that elite captains often exhibit a demanding physical and mental tone, signaling to both opponents and teammates that they will not be intimidated and that the team will fight relentlessly for every advantage. Walker clarifies that this aggression is not about outright cheating, but rather about playing on the very edge of the rules, pushing boundaries, and demonstrating an unwavering will to win. This form of aggression acts as a powerful psychological weapon. For opponents, it creates an intimidating presence, a sense that victory will be hard-earned and fiercely contested. Teammates, it galvanizes their resolve, fostering a culture of relentless pursuit where every effort is maximized and no ground is given cheaply. It sets an uncompromising standard for intensity and commitment. The legendary Diego Maradona, captain of Argentina's 1986 World Cup winning team, embodies this principle with striking clarity. While celebrated for his transcendent skill and creative genius, Maradona was equally renowned for his fierce competitiveness and his willingness to bend, if not outright break, the rules in pursuit of victory. His infamous Hand of God goal, though controversial, perfectly encapsulated his aggressive, win-at-all-costs mentality. This audacious act, while ethically debatable, sent an unmistakable message of defiance and relentless ambition that permeated his entire team. It was a visceral demonstration of a captain who would do whatever it took to secure victory or spirit in his teammates. The challenge for leaders is to consider, in what ways can you, as a leader, demonstrate a healthy, assertive aggression to set a higher standard for performance and resilience within your organization? This is not about being hostile or confrontational without cause, but about fostering an environment where complacency is challenged, boundaries are pushed, and an unyielding commitment to excellence becomes the norm. Lesson 3. Practical, demanding communicators. Direct feedback, high standards. Captain-class leaders distinguish themselves through their communication style. They're practical, no-nonsense communicators who deliver direct, often blunt, feedback to teammates, holding them to exceptionally high standards. This principle highlights their unwavering commitment to accountability and performance. Walker emphasizes that these captains do not sugarcoat. They possess an uncanny ability to identify problems and address them head-on, frequently in the heat of the moment, when corrective action is most impactful. This directness, while occasionally uncomfortable for the recipient, builds profound trust over time. It signals that the captain is genuinely invested in the team's success and in each individual's improvement. By confronting performance gaps swiftly and unequivocally, these leaders ensure that issues are not allowed to fester, thereby fostering a robust culture of accountability where mediocrity is simply not tolerated. Their communication is a tool for precision, cutting through ambiguity to deliver clarity and drive improvement. The business world offers a powerful parallel in Jack Welch, the former CEO of General Electric. Welch was renowned for his direct, often confrontational, communication style. He demanded excellence from his executives and was famously unafraid to challenge them, even in public forums. His leadership philosophy, encapsulated in concepts like rank and yank, was built on a foundation of unvarnished feedback and relentless performance management. While his methods were sometimes controversial, they undeniably fostered a culture at G where underperformance was quickly identified and addressed, and where high standards were not merely aspirational but rigorously enforced. This directness, though challenging, ultimately drove a culture of continuous improvement and accountability that defined G's success under his leadership. This brings us to a critical self-reflection. Are you providing sufficiently direct and challenging feedback to your team, or are you allowing discomfort to dilute necessary accountability? Are you prioritizing short-term comfort over the long-term benefits of candid, performance-driven communication? Lesson 4. Nonverbal motivation, leading by example and intensity. Beyond their words, captain-class leaders are masters of nonverbal communication. This principle asserts that they motivate their teammates primarily through intense effort, unwavering focus, and a visible, visceral commitment to the team's goals. Their actions speak louder and often more effectively than any verbal exhortation. Walker explains that these captains inspire through their relentless work ethic, their calm demeanor under immense pressure, and their palpable determination. This creates a powerful ripple effect throughout the team. When teammates observe their captain pushing through fatigue, maintaining composure in chaos, or exhibiting unwavering focus, it sets an undeniable standard for effort and resilience. This nonverbal leadership cultivates a shared understanding of what is expected, instilling a collective sense of purpose and intensity without the need for constant verbal reminders. It is an embodied form of leadership, where the message is conveyed through being rather than merely speaking. Yvon Chouinard, the founder of Patagonia, provides an exemplary real-world parallel. Chouinard's commitment to quality, environmentalism, and an adventurous spirit was never merely a corporate slogan. It was deeply embodied in his personal lifestyle and in every facet of Patagonia's operations. He lived the values he espoused. His passion for climbing and environmental activism wasn't just spoken about. It was reflected in the company's innovative products, its ethical supply chain, and its pioneering environmental initiatives. This authentic, nonverbal demonstration of values and commitment inspired not only his employees, but also his customers, creating a brand and a culture built on genuine conviction and relentless pursuit of purpose. The viewer challenge here is profound. Beyond your words, what specific nonverbal cues are you sending daily that either inspire or detract from your team's collective intensity and commitment? Are your actions consistently reinforcing the standards and values you wished? Lesson 5. Emotional control, composure under pressure. A hallmark trait of captain-class leaders is their exceptional emotional control, particularly in high-stakes situations. This principle highlights their ability to act as a calming presence and a steadfast source of stability for their team when others might falter. Walker observes that while these captains can be aggressive in their play and direct in their communication, they rarely lose their temper in a manner detrimental to the team's performance or morale. Instead, they maintain remarkable composure when those around them are panicking or becoming overwhelmed. This unflappable demeanor allows them to make clear, rational decisions amidst chaos and to project an unwavering confidence that steadies the entire group. Their emotional stability acts as an anchor, preventing the team from being swept away by the currents of pressure and uncertainty. It is a quiet strength that reassures and empowers. The Miracle on the Hudson provides a vivid illustration of this principle through Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger. Faced with the catastrophic failure of both engines shortly after takeoff, Sullenberger maintained extraordinary composure under unimaginable pressure. His calm, methodical decision-making, from assessing the situation to executing the emergency landing on the Hudson River, saved the lives of all 155 people on board. His steady voice and unflappable presence were crucial not only in guiding his crew through an unprecedented crisis, but also in reassuring passengers, preventing widespread panic. His emotional control was the bedrock upon which a successful, life-saving outcome was built. For leaders, the question becomes, in your next high-pressure situation, how intentionally will you model emotional control to stabilize your team and enable clear decision-making? Can you consciously choose calm amidst the storm and observe its tangible impact on those you lead? Lesson 6. Unconventional tactics, strategic rule-bending. The final, and perhaps most intriguing, trait of captain-class leaders is their willingness to employ unconventional tactics, often bending or even strategically breaking rules in pursuit of competitive advantage. This principle suggests a profound resourcefulness and a deep understanding of the competitive landscape. Walker clarifies that this is not about unethical behavior or outright cheating, but rather about strategic resourcefulness and an intimate understanding of the game's nuances. These captains are adept at exploiting loopholes, innovating within the boundaries of the rules, and taking calculated risks that others might deem too unorthodox or unconventional. They challenge established norms, not out of rebellion, but out of a pragmatic desire to find a superior path to victory. Their willingness to deviate from the expected often surprises opponents and energizes teammates, creating a dynamic and unpredictable force. Steve Jobs, throughout his storied career at Apple, exemplified this principle of strategic rule-bending. He was renowned for his unconventional and often disruptive approaches to product development, marketing, and business strategy. Jobs consistently challenged industry norms, whether it was through the radical simplicity of the Macintosh, the revolutionary interface of the iPhone, or the audacious Think Different advertising campaign. He was willing to jettison established practices, defy market research, and take monumental risks to create new categories and redefine consumer expectations. His reality distortion field was, in essence, a form of strategic rule-bending, convincing others to believe in and build what seemed impossible, thereby unlocking unprecedented competitive advantage. The challenge for leaders is to reflect. Where in your organization are you rigidly adhering to rules or conventional wisdom that, with strategic and ethical bending, could unlock significant competitive advantage? Are you fostering an environment where innovative, yet principled, deviation is encouraged, stifling creative solutions by clinging to established, but perhaps outdated, norms? Understanding the traits of captain-class leaders is merely the first step. The true value lies in applying these insights to your own leadership context. Here are 3 concrete actions you can implement this week to begin cultivating these powerful dynamics within your team. Move 1. Identify your unsung leader. This week, dedicate time to observe your team with a new lens. Identify one person who consistently demonstrates the captain-class traits to perhaps direct communication, high standards, emotional control, or a healthy, assertive aggression, but who isn't necessarily in a formal leadership role or the most visible star player. This individual might be quietly holding others accountable, embodying resilience, or fostering cohesion without a title. Once identified, invest time in understanding their perspective. Schedule a one-on-one conversation to solicit their insights on team dynamics, challenges, and opportunities. Empower their influence by publicly acknowledging their contributions, not necessarily for their output, but for their leadership qualities. Ask them to mentor a newer team member or to lead a specific initiative that leverages their natural leadership style. By consciously elevating and supporting these unsung leaders, you begin to formalize and amplify the internal forces that drive sustained success. Move 2. Practice aggressive communication. Choose one critical performance area where your team, or an individual within it, needs to raise its game. This could be a recurring missed deadline, a quality issue, or a lack of proactive problem solving. This week, commit to delivering direct, unambiguous feedback to the relevant individuals. Frame your feedback around the desired higher standard, clearly articulating the gap between current performance and the expectation, without sugarcoating or deferring. Ensure your tone is firm but constructive, focused on improvement rather than blame. For instance, instead of saying, "Perhaps we could try to be a bit more timely," state, "Our current delivery schedule is impacting client trust. We need to achieve X by Y date consistently. What is your plan to ensure this?" Follow up within 48 hours to ensure accountability and offer support for their action plan. This move is about cultivating a culture where directness is valued as a pathway to excellence, not avoided for the sake of comfort. Move 3. Model composure under fire. In your next challenging meeting, unexpected crisis, or high-pressure situation, make a conscious and deliberate effort to focus on maintaining an even keel and projecting calm. Before reacting, take a deliberate pause. Observe your own physiological responses and consciously regulate them. Speak in a measured tone, avoid reactive body language, and focus on logical problem-solving rather than emotional expression. After the situation has passed, reflect on its impact. How did your emotional stability influence the tone of the discussion, the decision-making process, and the reactions of those around you? Did your composure help to de-escalate tension or enable clearer thought? By intentionally modeling emotional control, you provide a powerful anchor for your team, demonstrating that clarity and resilience are possible even in the most turbulent circumstances. This practice not only strengthens your own leadership presence, but also cultivates a